Hey Vikings fans, Tyler here to talk to you about Pick and Shovelware and pickandshovelware.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of fun, different Minnesota sports clothing items and apparel options. We got a deal going with them right now where if you buy whatever you want, enter the promo code Bleeding Purple, all one word, and you will get free shipping. That is promo code Bleeding Purple. Pickandshovelware.com. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's start the show.
Go lad.
Bleeding Purple Podcast.
Welcome to Minnesota! Woo!
Straight cash, homie. 48 jersey down.
Adrian Peterson is loose! Oh my heavens! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Why do you even ponder passing? That's gonna work, huh? That's gonna work! How do you like that?
5 shot 3, 1, 2, 3, fire!
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Haig, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Adam Patrick. What up, buddy?
What's up? It's a little hot out here.
Oh, is it? Speaking of hot, I just took.
Well, it's because I was on Twitter all day covering from all the
the hot takes. Oh, I see what you're saying. I was gonna say I know what hot feels like because I just got my new coffee.
And the vapors.
And this is a lot hotter than the last coffee. And I know that now because my mouth hurts.
Aren't you guys supposed to get like 7 inches of snow or something coming?
You know, there are a lot of rumors. A lot of rumors about snow. A lot of rumors about football players. Yeah, I mean, they're saying like 2 to 5. But they also said it was going to be 2 inches on yesterday, Sunday. And I was all proactive and had a lot of coffee in me, felt good. And I was telling my girlfriend, do you want to go grocery shopping? Should I go grocery shopping? We should do it now because it's supposed to snow. I don't want to be out in this mess. It never snowed. So we got the groceries done. But then we had all day, so it was good. That was good. That part was good. But it never snowed. So I'm hoping, as a guy who drives for a living, that no snow happens. I know that's too much to hope for. Speaking of too much to hope for, Adam, Hot Take Nation. It's the off season, bro. We are going to legitimately bring up a player, Antonio Brown. Do you think the Vikings could trade for him? It's all the rage in Viking Nation right now.
Let's just take as little amount of time as possible on this.
No, we're going. This is half the episode.
Well, we need the clicks and we need the listeners, so we should just come up with outrageous. Next week we're going to do should the Vikings trade for Aaron Rodgers, and then after that we're going to do should they trade for Aaron Donald, because those takes are just as outrageous as trading for Antonio Brown.
You're being sarcastic, but I would like all of those things, and as far as clicks are concerned, might not be a bad idea, Adam.
The Vikings do have to possibly find a replacement for Sheldon Richardson. I've heard Aaron Donald is pretty good, so he could probably be a nice fit in there next to Linval Joseph. But we'll get to that later.
I've also heard that he is good.
Antonio Brown to the Vikings has apparently picked up steam because Xavier Rhodes, said hello to him on Twitter, and they're not looking at the fact that they're friends from Miami. Everyone's just like, oh, he must want Antonio Brown on the team.
This to me is the best part of this entire story, is that people are arguing and we are having heated debates about, and all of it, Adam, every single bit of it stems from one tweet from one guy saying, welcome to Minnesota. Incredible. It's the internet age, man. It's amazing. But this is where we're at. And so I present you with these questions because at first I feel the same way. I say, Antonio Brown trade, there's no way. It doesn't make any sense. Why would we do that? There's no way they can do that, right? That part, I think they could do it. I think money-wise they could do it.
They really
way
want
it's being reported. Yeah, and
exactly. Pretty much.
Yes. Yeah, well, and that's exactly my point, is that if you're bringing those up as roadblocks, I don't think those are the roadblocks that are going to actually deter the Vikings from making this move. Why do you think they would avoid this? Why would you avoid this if you were the Vikings?
If you look at players that they could trade for, trading for a receiver when you already have 2 of the best in the NFL, probably close to last on their list.
It's got to be close to last, if not last.
Obviously, you want to acquire you would want to acquire a player like Antonio Brown. But does that mean you're going to trade Thielen or trade Diggs? And who knows if Antonio Brown's going to work? He's got a large cap hit, like 20 something million.
It's close. Yeah, close to.
You just signed Diggs to a big extension. You're gonna have to pay Thielen if you keep him.
Thielen is coming up as well. That is important to keep in mind.
Who's gonna get less targets? Then what happens? You don't find people for the offensive line. You don't find people for the defensive line. You can't really add too much depth other than the draft, which you'll probably have to give up, pieces of the draft from this year to acquire Antonio Brown, and probably a good player. Maybe like an Eric Kendricks or an Xavier Rhodes.
And that to me is the biggest question. And we're speculating, and it's fun to speculate because having a player of Antonio Brown's caliber on your team is an exciting prospect. That's cool. That's a fun feeling. However, what is the compensation going to be?
Also, if he's that great, why weren't the Steelers in the playoffs last year?
Well, and I mean,
wide receivers can be great players. They can have great seasons, and their team still cannot be that good.
Exactly.
It's not like a quarterback where, if your quarterback has an amazing season, your team's probably going to be pretty darn good.
Yes, those
but
things
if a
are
receiver
not
has a great season, look at Calvin Johnson all those years he was on the Lions.
Oh, that's the perfect example. Season. That is the perfect example.
They did nothing.
Yeah, it's fun to think about that happening, but from a compensation standpoint, if that's anything higher than a second-round pick that they want back, and it has to be,
What other?
This is the rumor. No, Adam.
Train with the Raider.
This is the hot talking point was that the money's going to work because the Steelers are going to have part of his money on their books from a salary cap standpoint.
They probably have to get a player,
and then. The other hot rumor out of Pittsburgh was that they're so over this situation that they would be willing to take a first or second round pick just to have it be over with. No. And if that is the case, you're calling right now and you're giving them a second round pick and saying, thank you very much. We would love to have Antonio Brown. There's no way that's reality. That cannot be the actual world. That cannot be
They would rather
life.
Keep him around than get a third-round pick in exchange.
100% would keep him the entire year and let him sit and not play before they would take a second-round pick. That's my opinion on what the Pittsburgh Steelers would do. I'm not in Pittsburgh. I don't know. But it seems outrageous to assume that they would take anything less than a first-round pick for him.
I saw that. It was like a Peter King report today that said where like teams are shying away from trying to trade for Antonio Brown today because of some of his his recent tweets have rubbed them the wrong way. And I was like, oh, really? Because Kareem Hunt didn't just get signed, and he kicked a woman in the head. So that's going to shy a team away? His tweets?
It's so funny to me that – and this – it's fun as a fan of the NFL this time of year because it's easy to see – or easier to see –
It's fun to talk about realistic things that could happen.
Yes, it's easier to see the ones where it's like we're poking and we're trying versus –
This is something you do in Madden.
Yes, that's what I was going to say was versus – here's a crazy idea. Let's talk about it for a little bit. Because
this is not the NBA.
Way,
you can do this in the NBA.
Yes, if presented that way, it's a fun debate to have. But I think as a practical option, I don't think it's fun to debate at all because I don't think it's ever going to happen.
If there was a need for a receiver, yes, explore the options. Like, the person, Matthew Collar, who mainly brought up this whole idea of trying to acquire him.
And has been defending, in his defense, has been like defending his stance. He didn't just throw it out there. He's been standing strong.
I respect the work he does and everything. This take's a little out there. We all have our outrageous takes that we'll fight for or whatever. This is one of his. But like he's been going back and saying, look at the moves the Vikings have made in the past. Like they've gone after big name players in trades. Brett Favre, Jared Allen.
They have done that.
Other guys. But let's look at Jared Allen. Like when they got him, it was 2007. Like the year before, the top Vikings defensive end had 5 sacks. So they needed a defensive end.
It was a very important.
When they traded or signed Brett Favre, you're gonna not get Brett Favre and have T-Jack as your starting quarterback?
Amen.
Okay.
There was a time when people wanted Joe Webb to be the quarterback in this town. So
when they traded for Randy Moss next year in 2010, Sidney Rice was hurt. He's their deep threat. So what do? They go after and get Randy Moss to get a deep threat. All these trades that have featured big names have also had a reason behind them. The Vikings didn't just go out and be like, "Oh, we need to get all these
because
superstar
he's available."
players.
Was the reason?
Yeah, no,
and that literally is the only reason. And is he really available? Do we know what the price is? Do we know how willing they are going to be to deal him? No, man, no. Real quick about Randy Moss when he came back. Heard it being discussed on the radio today, and it was brought up, well, he was washed up. He was done. Like, he was bad. Wasn't the year before that when he caught a cajillion touchdowns and they broke the, record for, the most impressive offense? And they
it was either the year before or 2 years before.
Yeah. Washed up.
He still played for, 3 or 4 more
That's what I'm
seasons.
saying, yeah. And then skipped a couple years and came back and still played. And that I would give you washed up. But when he came back in I don't remember him being washed up.
I believe he caught a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know. That just struck me as I was like, that seems inaccurate. I don't know.
Was he at the end? Was he at the the back end of his career? Yeah.
Of course he was. Yeah, but washed up.
Was he the Randy Moss from the early 2000s? No.
No. Well, but yeah, for them to be like, oh, he was washed up, that doesn't even count. I was like, whoa. It counts, but that was, and you're right. There is a need for all those things, and one of the things that we haven't even brought up yet is a locker room dynamic. Is what does Antonio Brown do to that locker room?
We saw Adam Thielen getting a little testy with Kirk Cousins. You think Antonio Brown's going to be quiet?
He's not going to be quiet. We know that. There are few things in the world we can be sure of, and that is one of them. Also, how does this affect your running back when he's not getting as many touches because Antonio Brown's on the team? How does it affect Adam Thielen because now he's number 3? Yeah, Kyle Rudolph maybe is all of a sudden not.
He was a little grouchy last year when he wasn't getting the ball thrown his way.
He was, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay for him to be grouchy.
I mean,
it's going to cost him a bunch of money and probably a spot on the team, but
if he got some yards after the catch, maybe he would, get thrown to more, but whatever.
When you catch it in the end zone, you don't need any yak.
But the whole thing is everyone's like, oh, the Vikings need a third receiver, so they should go after Antonio Brown. But he's not a third receiver, so who's going to be your third receiver if you get Antonio Brown? Diggs, who just signed a giant extension,
or Thielen,
who just set had the second highest single season catches in franchise history. No, neither of those guys are going to be a third receiver.
Yeah, and this is where the fantasy football and Madden culture come into play, because on Madden it works. On Madden it's just numbers and
because you don't have people freaking out.
Exactly, but in the real world you have to worry about attitudes and effort and unhappiness from your players and sabotaging in the locker room. Not that I'm saying that's going to happen or that it would happen, but my God, you have to at least acknowledge that it's a possibility that he might not work.
Also,
Antonio Brown in that.
How old is Stefon Diggs? Is 25, 26?
They're all youngsters.
Antonio Brown's, I think he's 30 or approaching
30 or 29, one of the two.
I understand Antonio Brown's been All-Pro. This is going to be my hot take. Is there really that much of a difference right now between Antonio Brown and Stefon Diggs? To where you would need to give up a bunch of assets to acquire Antonio Brown?
See, to me, that's the key. If you don't have to give up much, you have to look at it. I think you need to explore it. But if you're giving up players, no way. Why would you give up a player to?
When you have a bunch of needs, and you can't. Your salary cap is already low. You cannot afford to give up players at this point, especially players who are significant contributors, which you would
what they're going to want back.
Yeah, which you would have to give up. You'd have to give up a Danielle Hunter or a Eric Kendricks or a guy like that.
And if that's the move, if that's the play, is to give up somebody of that caliber, then I'm totally out and am dismissive of the entire idea. If it's a second-round pick, though, Adam, I'm all in.
Yeah, and also if you're bringing up guys like, the Vikings were interested in Alshon Jeffrey or whatever last year, because he was a free agent. They didn't have to give up anything to acquire him.
Yeah.
This is totally different. This isn't, trade one player for another. This isn't trade Antonio Brown for a 5th-round pick. No, the Vikings already
take that too.
And you're gonna ask Rick Spielman to trade away draft picks, the guy who wants to get 10 picks every year. He's just going to give away picks for a position they don't even need.
And then here's what's going to happen is you bring in Antonio Brown, and then everybody's still going to complain about how bad the offensive line is. And can you get him the ball if the offensive line can't protect? I know we can't have any kind of acquisition or any kind of free agent
without
trade
that
with the
response,
Vikings.
yeah.
Yes, without the offensive line coming up.
Well,
but, I mean, it's
Yes, it needs to be improved, but does it need to be the main focus?
I don't think so, and I think people are going to go bananas when they don't take
Say
an
what you
offensive
want to
lineman
say.
in the first
Say what you
round.
want to
You're right. I forgot that we had. I think people are going to go apeshit when they don't take an offensive lineman, and they're not going to. We have to prepare people mentally. Vikings fans,
There's a
here's
very
your
good
warning.
chance.
It might not be an offensive line. You got to get ready for that. 'Cause it's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be nuts.
They don't have a lot of money. They don't have a high draft pick.
And what happened the last time they took it's like all of the guys they need to hit on because of position of need. Laquan Treadwell at wide receiver. Khalil
Trey
on
Waynes.
the offensive. Trey Waynes. Well, Trey Waynes works out later on, but I mean similar.
They had to wait 3 years.
But that's what I'm saying is that the people are going to need somebody to
Christian
come in
Ponder.
and play right now. Yeah. Oof. Well, yeah, that's a great example of we need a quarterback. We're going to reach for him. Whenever we're picking a quarterback no matter who's available. And I think if they take an offensive lineman at 18, it's probably going to be that same thing where we're all going to be disappointed because the expectations on a second-round kid are going to be 18th pick overall expectations, and the kid's going to be bad. Or not as good as that.
To be fair, a lot of teams reached in that draft for a quarterback.
It's true. Yeah, that was
supposed to be like
Yeah,
that was supposed to be like the next 1983 quarterback class, and it was like the worst.
Oh, it was so bad. So bad. Every now and then I will look at those clickbait articles will get me where it's like redrafting this class, and that was one of them that got me. Was like the Ponder and what other quarterback was taken in that draft?
Blaine Gabbert.
But Jake Locker is the one that comes to mind.
And Cam Newton
was a
number
rock star. Yeah, he went first overall, didn't he? Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's worked out pretty.
Yeah, he can stay there. Actual, maybe possible wide receiver acquisitions going forward.
Realistic.
That's a better way to put it. I didn't want to put realistic on it, but yeah, you're right. Realistic. Pierre Garçon. Is he a possibility? Garçon. Yeah, I've been practicing a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it like that every time, so get used to it now. Is he a possibility? Another name I keep hearing thrown around, and I don't even know what his contract situation is Golden Tate, which would be cool, but that feels like
he's a free agent, but no,
ain't an option. Yeah.
Terrence Williams just became a free agent today too. He was with the Cowboys. I think Garçon is actually a lot more likely than Antonio Brown. He played with Kirk Cousins in Washington. He had his best seasons of his career.
Oh my gosh!
With Kirk Cousins in Washington.
I still think of him as Indianapolis Colts, but you're so right. He spent a bunch of time with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. 2 years ago, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. He hasn't been doing too hot with the 49ers. Been injured.
They've been god awful too. So.
He had a knee injury last year. He had a scope or whatever. I heard somebody today said like he's coming off a torn quad. I'm like, no, he's not.
Okay, good.
No, it's a knee.
He's got to be how
it's a
old
knee scope.
Is he?
He's in his early 30s.
Okay.
But I mean,
for what you're
100. For what you're bringing, like you'd bring him in for, which would be to take Treadwell's spot. He's a lot more reliable. He knows, Kirk Cousins probably knows where he's going to be on the field more than Treadwell. And Garçon is actually a guy who likes Kirk Cousins. He's actually, when the Redskins and all that were going through their thing with Cousins, Garçon was a guy who was like, I don't know why they haven't signed him to a long-term deal yet. Like he's proven himself over and over again. So Garçon is a fan of Kirk Cousins. That's always good. They played well together. Like, he's a third receiver. He's probably not going to be that expensive because he's in, the back end of his career.
Yes.
He'd kind of be like a Terrence Newman on the offensive side.
Yeah, dude. That's a good idea. Yeah, yes. I like that a lot. And here's the thing is, now that we've got this Antonio Brown stuff swimming around, it is important to remember that all they're trying to do is get a number 3. And Garçon, although he's old, he would fit that perfectly. You nailed it. He knows where Kirk Cousins wants him to be. Kirk Cousins knows where he is going to be. And all he needs to do is catch the ball. He's proven he can do that. Treadwell was right there, did the thing, didn't catch him.
Another thing, he played in a Shanahan-style offense with the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who runs that kind of offense? Oh, Mr. Gary Kubiak. Guess who just got hired by the Vikings this year?
Coobs.
So I think Garcon would be, a very good option for the Vikings to look into.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was a bunch of teams that were actually interested in trading for him last year before he got hurt. And I don't know if the Vikings were possibly one of those teams.
Could have been.
But yeah, I think he'd be a good option. There's some options out there. I've seen Cole Beasley, but some people are like, oh, but they have Zylstra and Beebe, and I'm like, yeah, they can develop into guys and stuff, but they haven't proven anything. With Garcon, he has a track record and stuff of, being able to be reliable and stuff like that. So
I would love to see Beebe step in or Zylstra step in and be the number 3, but I just think that, like you said, that's to assume that that's going to happen and not make a move when you have an opportunity to bring in a Garcon is foolish. In my opinion, I can't stop now. I can't stop saying it like that. Let's talk about the AAF for a hot minute. Yep. The Alliance, excuse me, because they do not want you to call it AAF or the AAF. It's the Alliance, Adam. Former Viking Charles Johnson, kind of playing well, but he was always okay when he was with the Vikings.
When he was healthy.
Yeah, when he was healthy, that was always the problem. Was he couldn't stay healthy. He's healthy right now. He's playing really well. Have you watched any of the Alliance stuff? Have you seen any of this? Where are you at with the new?
I watched the highlights of him yesterday, and then I watched a little bit of the Fleet game yesterday because I was in home in San Diego.
Talked about this before, for sure.
They won, by the way.
Oh,
in the pouring rain.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought it up. It was raining in San Diego. I almost called you to be like,
pouring.
"Whoa, man, what is happening?"
We had like flash flood warnings last week. It was crazy. Apparently, there's supposed to be some 900-year storm coming to LA now. That's going to flood the whole city. So yeah,
that's
no more drought.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, pouring rain. That was not that fun of a game.
No, but Charles,
good quarterback play.
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, it's so boring to watch these two teams play," and I'm like, "It's pouring. They can't do a whole lot."
Yeah, these guys can't even catch a ball when it's dry out, and now it's raining.
But did you see that highlight of the guy who threw it behind his back?
Yes, he actually. That's Philip Nelson. He is native of Minnesota. He's a Minnesota guy. He went to the U. That was the funniest. See, to me, well, I'll save it because this is going to be part of my closing remark. We'll save it and we'll talk about AAF a little bit more later.
Charles Johnson, yeah, he did good. Interestingly enough, if he keeps up his play, maybe he could be an option at number 3 for the Vikings because they have guys who run in the slot like Thielen and Diggs. Mm-hmm. They kind of need a guy who can go deep, stretch the field.
For sure. I think that's part of the.
It's not. He'd be cheap.
Yeah.
He knows the guys in the room.
Yeah. Can he stay healthy? Obviously, is the big question.
But he wouldn't. When he was here, he was also. I think they were kind of hoping that he would develop into a number 1 guy.
Yeah.
And those expectations would not be on him if he was here next season.
It's true, and it's important to remember too that I think that's a lot of Treadwell's issue too, is that first round expectations on a guy can kind of.
He's just not that good.
I mean, he's not that good, but if we had gotten him as a 5th round pick and he had made the team, I think that people would be.
He wouldn't be on the team right now.
Well, that
he was
too.
A 5th round
yeah, you're correct there. Maybe he catches more passes if he's not worried that everybody's
like, he's a workhorse and
I don't know.
He's defying the odds and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think expectations.
Like Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I think expectations are important. And Stephon Diggs, man, I don't want to say lucked out. He was the number 1 recruit when he was in high school. Went to Maryland because it was close to his house. Couldn't stay healthy. Didn't get a lot of airtime. Wonderful wide receiver. Got him in. Was it the 5th round, 4th round?
I believe Treadwell was the number 1 recruit coming out of high school too.
Was he? Oh man. I just want to defend him. I want to. Good luck to you, Mr. Treadwell. I can't defend you anymore. Sorry, but what else were we gonna discuss? Oh, the Thanksgiving Vikings.
Yeah.
Question mark. Eagles? Question mark.
Reportedly.
Still early.
I don't mind that. If that's their Thursday game next year, I'd rather have it be on Thanksgiving than during a random week.
Oh, 100% me too. I could not agree more with that. I love it when the Vikings play on Thanksgiving. Love it.
Yeah.
Love
It was great. Well, they played the Lions, 2017?
Mm-hmm.
I think 2016 too. So yeah, that was good. I enjoyed those. This one, is reportedly going to be at night, so it would be like 8 o'clock, probably 8 Eastern, probably, and be in Minnesota at US Bank.
That would be the best. That was going to be my next question. If it's there,
everyone,
not so much.
everyone can have their dinner, and then go to the stadium and tailgate. Root against those pesky Eagles. So yeah, that'd be fun.
Really polite to the visiting Philadelphia.
Yeah, they'd
fans.
open the doors for all the Eagles fans.
It's no big deal.
Ask them if they want any refreshments.
Want any pop?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like Thanksgiving games.
It'd be nicer to the
Thanksgiving is
Eagles
like my
fans.
Christmas. It's my favorite day by a mile.
Yeah, they'd be nicer to the Eagles fans than they are to Kirk Cousins and his comments.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a little bit? First question, do you think he wanted to give something away on his own, or do you think that was, hey, Kirk, we got some stuff, tweet about how you're going to give it away?
Yes, that.
That version.
It's always that.
Always that.
That's the only reason why most players have an Instagram account. It's because they're
I
like,
was just going to say that.
their PR person is like, you need to get an Instagram account.
For sure. We could sell that. We could monetize your Instagram account because you're going to have a gajillion followers.
But right now, he can't even post a picture or a video of his son
without people
going down the stairs without people being like, you need to get back to training.
Give the money back.
You shouldn't be hanging out with your son. You need to hurry back up. Give back your money.
For real. Better be.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Lift some weights, cousins.
Yeah.
Get it together. I am getting tired of that crowd of the Cousins is garbage. Like, he wasn't great, but he's not awful.
Also, the people that want Keenan back. Same crowd.
Duh. That's a separate.
Same crowd.
It is, it is.
But 2017 was not a fluke for Case Keenum. Every other season he did poorly, but 2017 he did good. But that's not a fluke. That's not a fluke.
Had nothing to do with that situation. Had nothing to do with that offensive coordinator. And if he came back here, it would be 13 wins without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. Let's talk about something that, God, I've been waiting the whole episode to bring up here.
Oh, yeah.
Franchise tag. But not a normal franchise tag, Adam. Franchise tag for a kicker.
Oh, yeah.
Are the 49ers actually going to use a franchise tag?
I mean, it wouldn't be
The
expensive.
franchise tag on their kicker. That was going to be my next question. What is the average number?
Yeah. I don't.
Like, what would that franchise number be? That has to be like 2
Under
million?
10 million.
Yeah.
Under 10. Probably 6 or 7.
Because how much did, I think of guys like Vinatieri, and they don't even make,
Probably like 5.
yeah,
Actually,
if
probably
that,
5.
if
So.
that, I don't know.
But it's just a way to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere else.
To Minnesota, which is,
I
what we
think
need.
the Panthers used their franchise tag on Graham Gano last year, and I think
Seriously?
the Patriots have used it on Gostkowski.
Yeah, that one
So
I can understand.
It's been done before. They might do it again actually this year. He's a free agent.
Man.
But yeah, it looks like Robbie Gould is not going to be an option for the Vikings, which is kind of sad.
It's terrible.
'Cause he would have been good because he's from, he played in the NFC North, and he missed like 2 kicks last year. So.
Mhm.
Well.
And that's the perfect. Every time the Vikings get a kicker that we don't have to worry about anymore, he's from the NFC North, and he played a lot of years on some other team here, and we're going to get him for 2 to 5. And it's going to be great, and we just won't have to worry about it. That's what I want.
It would be a better trade than trading for Antonio Brown?
Trading for Robbie
Trading
Gould.
for Robbie Gould.
That's not nearly as sexy, though.
If you think that's a hot take, fine. But it'd be way more useful.
That's like the best, worst hot take in the history of
Yeah.
hot takes. Is they should get a kicker. I mean, you're right, though, because it would be better. It would be more practical. I don't know. Do you think, there's no way they're going to trade for offensive line help. There's no way that it's just to give up assets to get something. It just is. It doesn't help your goals right now. To me,
They're still technically in the Super Bowl window, so they're
That's
not.
true.
at a point where they need to unload assets to, try and maybe start over or go back to an average, roster, kind of like what the Seahawks did a year ago.
I think I think that's part of the case for the Antonio Brown thing is that, well, so what if it blows up? Because, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? But I just think you're so
Everyone
close.
gets fired?
That's what I'm saying is you're so close, and to assume that this team can just get back to being mediocre or get back to a playoff. I just don't. That's such a setback for this team.
It's not worth that risk.
No, really I would agree with that completely. So yeah, franchise taking kickers. Weird, but maybe let's talk about the offensive line. This part of the episode I'm excited. Video. You have video on your Instagram account right now of a fan who started on fire at a Vikings game. This was
looks like the Human Torch.
Totally, it looks like a movie. It looks like one of those. What's the Adam Sandler movie where he goes back to school? It looks like that.
Billy
scene.
Madison.
In the scene where the guy is in the. That's what it looks like. He's engulfed in flames. It's incredible. My first initial thought was, how did that start on fire? Well, that was at a time they were probably smoking cigarettes right there. That's probably because of a cigarette.
Yeah, but it was not because of a cigarette.
What was it?
You sound like my wife who's like, "Be careful, there's ashes at the gas station."
They might turn you into a fireball.
No. Don't talk on your phone.
Not while you're phone. It's unsafe. So what's the story?
Well, first it was posted by another account on Twitter, so I don't want to take credit for it. It was the Funhouse account, which also posts like Mike Francesa.
Yes, that's why I recognize the name because my God, his
bunch of hot takes where he's like,
I'm not sure he watches sports anymore.
No,
I'm not sure if he does.
So they posted it, and I was like, "What?"
That's
because he was talking about how like Vince Scully was the announcer. It was the NFC Championship game between the Cowboys and the Vikings in Dallas, 1977. Vince Scully was the announcer, and the point of like the tweet was like Vince Scully casually announcing that someone was on fire in the stands.
Yes, he did.
It's really hilarious.
I love Vince Scully.
So play runs or whatever, and they go to the crowd, and there's like commotion or whatever, and Vince Scully's like, "Oh, these guys looks like a commotion."
He goes, difference of opinion down here, and then there's a guy on
and then they show the cut to the replay, and they're like, "Oh, looks like a blanket's on fire," and then the color guy goes, "That's a person." And Vince Scully's like, "Oh my God," and then 2 seconds later, Vince Scully's like, 2nd and 7. It's like nothing.
Back to the football game.
Nothing happened. It's just like, whoa, that's never happened before. The guy's on fire in the stands. Apparently, he was wearing like a snowman costume. I'm guessing like maybe like a Bigfoot, like abominable snowman costume.
Right.
He brushed against a hot chocolate vendor who had like an open flame, like a liquid flame thing container or whatever, and then
was a fireball immediately
on fire.
It's like
luckily there was like a Vietnam veteran who took like his coat off and covered him quickly, like because he was running around the crowd. He could have like done a lot more damage.
Absolutely incredible, like visual of a fireball human walking among people who were like not. Like, this guy's on fire walking past me. It's truly incredible video.
He suffered, like, second-degree burns, so he did survive.
Man.
But it could have been a lot worse.
Oh, so much worse. And with, the kids and stuff happening, it's one of the most, honest to God, like, and I look at the internet quite a bit, Adam. It's one of the most incredible videos I've, like, ever seen.
It's like the 70s, too, where they're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, then a human on fire.
That account also posted a video, I think it was from the same game, of like a clip of Roger Staubach, Cowboys quarterback, running down the field, and that color guy goes, "Roger runs like a sissy, doesn't he?" And Vince Scully's like, "What?" He's like, "Did you wear a helmet when you played football?"
Can't say that anymore.
Yeah, apparently he was shortly fired after that, but
shocking.
You definitely could not say. You couldn't say that back then. You definitely could not say that today.
No. Doesn't he run like a weirdo?
Just
What an awful,
40, 50 years ago. What a different
different
time.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, that was
different
a
times. It
great-
wasn't even that long ago. I saw today at work. I saw 16 Candles with isn't Long Duck Dong? Isn't that 16 Candles?
Yeah,
That's crazy,
I only remember him. He's on SVU too.
dude.
Law and Order.
That 16 Candles. That's
That's
kind
what,
of offensive.
30 years?
That
30
part. Yeah, it's pretty old at this point.
Back to the Future is what, like 35 years,
I think so.
40.
Ah, dude, stop.
That's old.
I'm old.
85?
We're old.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
I'm old. We're old. It's awful. Other news, NFL, I guess,
Lots of
broadcast
flames.
stuff.
The flames in this.
Yeah,
episode.
dude, just hot takes left and right. Monday Night Football possibly moving back to ABC.
Yeah.
I read a little thing on, was it Awful Announcing, where there was essentially ESPN's bid, but because ESPN is owned by ABC, they kind of think that if they package themselves together, they will get better options, because the NFL doesn't like cable. They don't think, yeah, I guess that's not the wrong way to put it. NFL doesn't love cable. They want it on network television. They will give the better games to the network television.
I never really liked that it moved to ESPN like exclusively. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah, but what about all those people that? I know a lot more people have cable nowadays or stream or whatever, but what about those people that don't?
Exactly. And
What if they,
to me, this is gonna like.
there's a
sound-
reason why the Super Bowl is on like NBC and CBS and Fox. It's because
Yes.
so more people can see it.
And just because you can't figure out who to put on your color team and
Yeah.
who to announce it because you are awful, that doesn't mean that Monday Night Football is less important. People are just not watching it because you're bad at putting it on. Like, Monday Night Football is important to people and something that people will watch. A large portion of people will. It's appointment viewing for a lot of people.
I think a part of the reason why it hasn't gotten as many viewers or whatever is because it's on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not as many people have that access to
Yeah.
that network.
Well, and then on top of that, if they're giving them bad games, bad or the not.
That's probably why,
favorable matchup-
because
yeah, man,
if you're not going to get good ratings, why are they going to give you good games?
exactly. There's no need
you-
for us to give you good.
The
games,
NFL
'cause no
might
one's watching.
feel like, hey, you guys aren't putting your best team out there to broadcast these games. Why are we going to give you the best teams?
God, and that reminds me of that Monday Night Football crew with Booger and the side seat.
Jason
and
Witten,
Ooh, I am not looking forward to
the
watching that crew again.
play-by-play guy, he's fine.
Yeah, is that Tessitore or whatever?
Yeah.
yeah, I like
But-
him. He's not bad.
They need. I don't care what they signed Witten or Booger to. They need to get two different guys in there because.
The Booger Mobile is one of the worst things
Oh my god!
I've
And they had.
ever dealt with on it. Like, to me, it's like
It
Dennis
obstructed
Miller is
people's
1
views.
and Booger Mobile is 1A. Like, they are on the same level
who
of
thought,
awful.
Like who? And like somebody thought that was a great idea.
100%.
Somebody thought it was we're gonna have a guy on the field. It's like
gonna
Tony
be amazing.
Siragusa on steroids.
Yeah. And he'll be able to
gonna have
control it and just drive it
Yeah.
around.
He's gonna block everyone behind him, but who
That's
cares?
the best part. Yes, we don't care. It doesn't matter.
We'll put a TV screen so everyone can watch the game.
Yes.
They paid $120 for these tickets so they can watch the game on TV.
And then they just made the back clear, so you
Yeah.
could just try and see through it. Just killing it. So yes, I think it's important that Monday Night Football goes back to network television. Put it on ABC or NBC. I don't care what network, but it's got to be on the main channels. You can't have it on a cable-only network. Or
Yeah,
you need
no.
to simulcast it, like whatever,
Yeah,
broadcast
you
it
can do that.
simultaneously.
like they do that
on
with
ABC.
college football sometimes, I think.
Yep, for
Or-
sure. And they've done it for like playoff games and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, Monday Night Football is important. Quit screwing it up, ESPN.
NBA Finals on ABC.
Yes. Yes.
Super Bowl on all those channels,
Mm-hmm.
Masters and all that stuff, CBS, like all this stuff is on those
Yes.
4 national channels. There's a reason for that.
You know, it's amazing to me. It was like something happened in Hulu and Netflix, and people went nuts about it. And now, like, there just is a panic where it's like, nobody's watching cable anymore. And it's like, well, that's not.
People
really
are. People
true.
want, like live sports is probably like the last thing that's keeping these
That
networks
can
alive.
survive. And you're doing it poorly. That's why nobody's watching it. That's why. Everybody else watches this stuff on the other things. You're doing it wrong. Quit doing it wrong. Figure it out. And we'll watch.
I think the only like cable sports network like games that survive are probably the NBA on TNT, just because of like who they have doing those games and the crew that they have, like the Inside the NBA guys. I feel like that's been like one of the few that survived on strictly cable.
They're so good. And when you watch those broadcasts and then the like football, like the Fox pregame stuff broadcasts, and now you watch the Alliance and like their pregame broadcast, and it's like,
oh
my god,
what's with I think NFL Network has the pregame or postgame or whatever stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it look like they're in like an episode of Dateline where they have like the fake warehouse behind them? Like, why are you doing that?
Honest to God. All right, so let's just we basically don't have much else. So I'm gonna maybe forfeit my closing remarks so that we can discuss the Alliance for a little bit here. It is awful. The football's not very good, but that stuff, the pregame stuff, the broadcast itself, the curse words on air, because they just have live microphones on everybody and they can't control it.
About that.
Honest to God, so I'm like kind of covering it and like writing it about. There was one game where there were more swear words on live TV than touchdowns in the football game. Like, it is a disaster, but it's so fun if you look at it and watch it from an objective point of view and don't care that it's not great football games. It's an absolute party to watch.
Oh, I think the broadcasts are good. Like the actual game broadcasts, I've been like entertained by those. Yeah, like parts moments of those. They have good angles and stuff and sequences. Yeah.
It's fun. They're trying new things. I saw a game recently where they had the like broadcast angle. This was on Saturday. The late game on Saturday was on a wire, but it wasn't like, not the good above angle. It was just on a wire from the side. So like at one point they were on the play was on the far hash. All the wide receivers on this side did inward turning routes. So it was literally like just the field, and then way off in the distance you could see the scrum happening and where the actual football play was going.
People are learning with these broadcasts.
That's what
I'm sure
saying.
I'm sure they have like interns and stuff.
Yes, man. That's what's so fun about it, is you can watch them figure out what doesn't work like in real time. It's really, really fun and really, really
it's also
entertaining.
The second week?
Yeah, and those teams, by the way, have only been together for 3 weeks. This is the first day of their 4th week. So, the football's not great right now. And, the defense is looking pretty dominant in most of the games. But eventually, it might be okay football. And then we're going to have all these incredible fun angles. We're going to have these, like, awesome live mics. You can hear what the replay guys are saying. Big knock is the play clock at 35 seconds is horrible. But
I don't think the purpose of this league or the XFL is for entertainment. I think at least the Alliance or whatever they want to be called, it was made to give these guys, an option if they weren't able to get in the NFL, still maintain a living as a professional football player, because they don't get paid like millions of dollars, but they get a decent chunk of change to be a professional, to play a game for a living. They get a pretty good amount of money, and I think they get a lot of stuff like luxuries and stuff that they don't have to worry about from this league. They probably don't have to buy a bunch of stuff for themselves. It's all there for them.
If I'm not mistaken, like insurance and healthcare stuff, all that stuff is taken care of. Yeah, man, it seems like a really cool idea. So I think if people are,
if you're going into these games like, it's boring football. Well, it's not the best football players in the world like the NFL is. So you can't go into that thinking this way. You have to go into it, maybe watching a lower level college basketball game or college football game, or like NXT, which actually is really good though.
It's way awesome. That's a separate conversation, but
or like minor league baseball.
That's
stuff like that.
That's 100% it. It's minor league baseball. They don't have an affiliation.
No one goes to the minor league games.
It's the fun, entertaining stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, there's a baseball game going on.
That's what they need to do. They need to take some notes or stuff from minor league baseball and minor league hockey, like the crazy fun stuff that they do in the games. So maybe the experience at the games will be better. You know, maybe not the broadcast, but
yeah, but more people will go to attend the actual.
Make it an experience. Make it something people want to go to.
And that's I guess that's what I guess my biggest point for this league is if you don't look at it and compare it to the NFL from a football standpoint, it's really fun. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in there. But nobody's doing that. They're all
people
like,
are going to do that.
NFL.
Yeah, but I do believe it did have higher ratings than the Warriors and Lakers or whatever last week. So people are interested because it's football.
For sure.
But yeah, no one goes to minor league games for the sport really. They go there for the experience, have some $2 beers, and watch the mascot like fall on his face.
Yes, and the sooner that the Alliance figures that out, because you can have both. You can have it be entertaining for families and a blast to go to, and you can also have guys who are on their way back to the big show. You know, like that. You can have both of those things. And so if we as fans kind of open our eyes up to how much fun it can be if you're not always comparing it to the NFL, it is like a blast to deal with. Okay, I guess that was my closing remark. I don't know. This is going to be short if we're done now. What are your closing remarks? We've only been going for like 45 minutes.
We don't know. We're already out of our topic.
That's all the topics I have.
Well, it is the off season.
That's what I was just going to say. It's the off season, and we spent a lot more time on Antonio Brown than I thought we were going to. I'm not proud of it either, but we did.
You know what?
I promise myself.
This is all Matthew Collar's fault. This was his plan. He doesn't care if he was right or wrong. He just wanted to get it out there. Yes. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about the article that he wrote.
I don't know if he's contractually obligated to only put podcasts out or appear on podcasts in that, Hubbard broadcasting world. But God, I would love to have him on our podcast.
Oh, I've had him on one of my old podcasts.
Yeah, I had him on this one before you were on this one. He was one of the first guests.
So I think we'll give him some time. Maybe let him settle into his new role.
Yeah, maybe let this Antonio Brown thing
let him cool down a little bit.
For sure.
Pour some cold water on him. You can talk about we can go off topic here. We can talk about Elimination Chamber last night. You know Kofi Kingston almost coming away with
I'm gonna watch it next. That's my plan, is to watch it after this. I got Elimination Chamber.
Well, he was in
the AAF. Okay, good. Well, didn't think I was gonna have to warn you about spoilers for the Elimination Chamber. But...
Really? You're gonna watch it?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, then I won't say anything about it.
All right. I mean, I do want to talk about wrestling a little bit, but also I should shout out to my buddy Coltrane. He was not happy that we were bringing up Royal Rumble when we discussed the Royal Rumble. I know. I got a text from him. He was like, "Dude, really? Like WWE stuff? Come on." I was
really,
like,
we talk about
Rumble, pal.
Guys playing game for a living. So really,
come on, you're gonna
guys
come on, Coltrane.
Celebrate. They do the limbo when they score touchdowns. So,
yes.
but wrestling.
That's a bridge too far. We just can't discuss that. So yes, I am gonna watch that, and then I'm also gonna watch. I have one more Alliance game that I missed.
I don't even really watch the pay-per-views. I usually just go on YouTube and watch. Like they have like highlight videos that are like a half hour long. I'm like, a condensed version. I'll just watch that.
It's because, dude, when was the last time I tried it a couple weeks ago? When was the last time you tried to watch a full episode of like Raw or SmackDown? It is brutal. They are so long and nothing really happens, and it's
SmackDown's only two hours. No, and that's coming to Fox.
Did they? Oh, I thought they expanded it, but I, honest to God, I haven't even. It was Raw that I tried to watch the other day, and I was like, no way, can't do it.
The only full pay-per-view I usually watch is WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I'm like a big four guy. Got to do WrestleMania. Got to do Royal Rumble. SummerSlam I like, and then my other one is I really like the King of the Ring stuff. If they ever do that, whenever they do that, I don't know if they do it anymore.
Survivor Series?
No, well, yeah, Survivor Series is one of the big four, but I like the King of the Ring when they do that. Is like my favorite. Like,
do they do that stuff?
I don't know if they do. I don't know if they've done it in a couple of years. It's been a while. I haven't seen one.
People are really gonna give us more credibility for talking about wrestling after giving our opinions on Antonio Brown.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be. You know, on this podcast, this is what we do. You know, we touch all bases, a little bit of football, a little bit of wrestling.
Degeneration X is going into the Hall of Fame.
Hot take. That's all we do.
Heard that, right?
Yeah. Oh, are they? Or is that your hot take?
No, that is.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
China's going in.
Good for them. China. She's not alive anymore, is she?
No, obviously posthumously or whatever.
Yes,
Going in. Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, X-Pac.
Oh, yeah, the whole squad. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I always think of just Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and it's like,
Triple H.
Triple H.
Shawn Michaels.
Also, Shawn Michaels, have you noticed that his eye is kind of creeping? The one eye just is not really looking
He's been hit in the face a couple times.
Anymore. Yeah. Do you think that's a possible CTE thing?
Oh, he's fallen a couple times.
Yeah, that kind of bums me out. He just can't.
It's probably a miracle that he's actually still alive. So.
True story, and especially with the back injuries too. Amazing that he can walk. Do you have a closing remark? Do you have anything you would like to close with?
It's just general, just like, can we stop like every week with the ridiculous hot takes? I understand it's the off season, but come on, like, I know certain stations need to fill hours. Airtime talk, but other areas or of the country find a way to not do this stuff. There's there's more national broadcasts. Like, this is the stuff that they do, like First Take kind of stuff. Colin Cowherd, this is what they do, and contradict themselves like over and over and over again. Like local like reporters and radio are. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be the logical ones. You're supposed to make fun of these guys.
Yes, you're supposed to laugh at these things.
Like, don't become them.
Well,
like,
I think
there's a reason, but people like to listen to these shows. It's not because you're like them.
Yeah, that is true. I would agree with that because I got all the options and I choose one, and you're totally right. Because
I like to think that this podcast just tries not to go off the deep end too often. We kind of try and stick to more realistic.
Yes.
Options and topics and stuff. Obviously we'll have certain things we're like, oh, maybe this could happen, but
but we don't linger too long on things that we know are not realistic.
No, and if we do, it's probably because someone else brought it up.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that, because if we spend any time on it, it's because that's the talk. But I think that's important to mention too, is that maybe not a responsibility, but the journalists and people who cover this team on that level, from a radio, newspaper, et cetera, standpoint, is to throw something out there like that. Now the wheels are turning on people who don't get this, not the game like football, the game, but the game is in like the covering and
we don't
reporting.
Follow it,
Yeah. Those people now are in hook, line, and sinker, and the rest of us have to deal with these goofballs at our family get-togethers, being like, "Oh, so Antonio Brown," and it's like, no, man.
Yeah,
and I don't want to be rude to Uncle Tim, but I'm going to shoot him down when he brings it up.
There's even like there's accounts nowadays, like for like different Instagram accounts that have like thousands and thousands of followers, and they just splurt out like all this random wrong information.
Splurt's a good word, by the way.
Just to get likes or whatever.
Yep.
And that hurts people like me or people like Matthew Collar or anyone else reporting on the team that actually has legitimate information on
or puts forth the effort to research that kind of stuff, and and I
because
think
it gets old with the hot takes, because since the season ended, we've had Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman, are they going to get fired? They only have 1 year left on their deal. Then we had Case Keenum. Is he going to come back?
Dude, like, I'm not trying to blame one outlet here, but when you are running through these, I think most of them are coming
certain network just rebranded.
I think this is most.
They want to get that name out there.
I think most of them are coming from one source.
Good,
but yes, it is important.
Appreciate the effort. Sometimes you have. This might not be the people on air. This might not be their choice either. It might come up from the higher ups. They're like, you guys gotta. If you think these takes are ridiculous, whatever, just go with it. That's what works these days. Yeah. But at the same time, it's also a radio station, so no one's going to be listening to it in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they are available online, but I get what you're saying. You're totally right. Right. No, and it is. it hits a point where it just becomes not
I just don't want
monotonous,
people like
but
this.
it just it dilutes the product because we, especially for the Vikings, we are spoiled as Vikings fans because there are a lot of really good, a lot of really not well educated, but people who do their research and make sure they fact check.
Their head is on their shoulder.
Yes, exactly. We don't have to sift through, well, who is the source? Who is responsible for this? Can I believe it? Can I not believe it? We are lucky in that.
There's a certain person in the Vikings beat who Mike Zimmer has a huge disdain for, but
Yes,
we won't speak of him right now.
Yeah, we don't need to bring that person up.
But yeah, I mean, people come to these outlets and publications because they aren't like the national outlets that have all these outrageous hot takes and stuff. They come to you for like legitimate, realistic information and opinions. Like, it's just, I don't want people that like to listen to these guys, like, don't mislead people just to, you know, get clicks or get listens.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's part of the frustration from like a caller is that he doesn't think it's that hot of a take, but it's being dealt with and
I understand too, because I get paid by clicks. But at the same time, I try and not. There's ways.
There's a balance for sure.
There's ways. Yeah. There's ways to go around that and not make it so obvious that your purpose is to get clicks and nothing else.
Yeah.
Which takes like Antonio Brown and bring Keenum back or whatever. These are takes that are pretty outrageous and make it look like you're reaching for the stars or whatever. You know, if there's ways to go around it, like with the Keenum thing, like you can go like, you know, should they bring him back? Is this realistic? And then you go like, if it's not, then we'll explain to you why. Not like, it's possible that Keenum could come back. Like, no, it's not.
Exactly. and to and to have it out there like it's just, well, this is going to be, is misleading for a lot of people. And maybe not for you, maybe not for me, maybe not for some that watch, but it is misleading.
People who are just starting out to like follow the team or whatever, they're like, oh, Vikings have a shot at getting Antonio Brown. No, they don't.
No, they don't. And that's okay too. But all right, well, I got nothing else. We made it almost an hour though. 56 minutes, man. That's good.
We had good discussion.
Yeah, it was real good. I'm glad I thought we
if someone wanted to get
brought up that topic.
We did. I don't think we bashed anybody. I didn't want to do that. You know, I have no problem with Collar or whatever and the stuff that he does. He does really good work. So I don't want people to think
Collar is like my favorite Viking beat writer. Like,
I don't want people to think like I have a problem with him or anything like that, or you do or whatever. Just it was something that came up and it's been a hot topic, and we'd like to give our opinion on that stuff.
So hot. It's just hot take fest over here. This episode is called Hot Take Fest. That's all it is to it.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're trying to get those clicks.
There you go. All right, buddy. I'll see you next week. Skol, buddy.
Skol. Happy President's Day.
Yes, happy President's Day. Later, buddy.